Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl, Paula Marie, aka the Ebony Biz Diva. Welcome inside of the Pinterest room. Make sure that you are following, liking, and subscribing on whatever platform that you are listening to the sound of my voice or watching me right now. We are simultaneously broadcasting in 2 specific places. We are live on that good YouTube, and we are also inside of the infamous Pinterest room with over 6,800 members. That means there are 6,800 people that are interested in investing in their business in the way that you are today. Hey, how is everybody doing? So listen, it is Monday and it is the last Monday in June. And I just want to ask this question first before we even start. And I want you to put this in the chat for me. Answer me in the chat. I want to ask you this question. What have you done inside of your business this month, June 2022, that has made a difference in adding people to your email list, that is specific to adding people to your tribe? Please share those inside of the chat. Now, this is a live broadcast and the replays are on. So on Clubhouse, that means that this broadcast lives on and on and on and on. You can come back and listen to it if you can't stay for the whole session. But also those that are coming in and out will be able to learn from you as well, because I'm not here just to teach you. Like, we're here to teach each other. We all are looking for different ways to implement strategies in our business. So I want you to check into the chat bubble if you are live on Clubhouse. And I want you to answer that question. What have you done this month in June 2022 to add people, specific people, your tribe, your ideal clients? Said, I'm going to add myself onto these people, this business's email list, because I want more. I want more about the products and services that they deliver. I want more about the education and information that they are giving. I want more. I want you to share that into the chat bubble. I want to welcome Kelvin and Rosalind and Vinay and Lottie inside of the Pinterest room. Also, if you're live on YouTube, I want you to click into the chat in the comments, and I want you to comment what you've done in June of 2022. And the reason I ask that is because I want everyone to be able to quantify the efforts that they've been doing. But I also want you to start to implement the things that you are learning. I do not want you to watch me, listen to me, or any of my colleagues that you come across and just write down all the good stuff. I want you to implement the good things. So it's super important that you do that. All right. So listen, you are inside of the Pinterest room, inside of the Clubhouse listening lounge live, and we're also on that good YouTube on Ebony Biz Diva TV. I'm your girl, Paula Marie. I am a business coach. I call myself a visibility coach because I work with my clients strategically in 3 specific ways: how to create imaging that attracts, how to create video that educates and informs, and also how to use SEO, which is why we are inside of the Pinterest room, because Pinterest is an SEO platform. It is not a social media platform, and it's important. It's important for us to use SEO in order for the amazing content that we're creating and for the amazing products and services to get found. Now, listen, if you're inside of the Clubhouse, I need you to hit that hand raising, come up on stage with me, share your business, because this is on replay. And we're going to get into the 5 Pinterest marketing strategies that convert. Now, this is super important because a lot of people don't understand the power of Pinterest, but they also don't understand how to utilize Pinterest past the platform, right? They don't understand how to utilize Pinterest, which never dies. The content that you place on this content never dies because it is an SEO-based platform. And so they may not understand, how do we use this platform in an intentional way, in a strategic way, to be able to attract all the time. So we're going to get into the 5 ways. If you've got any questions, definitely place those in the comments. If you're on that good YouTube, and if you're on Clubhouse, hit the hand raising and ask your comments to me live. Okay. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is call to action. We may not talk about it a lot, but you may hear it a lot. Call to action. You may see in some of the print CTA, which is an acronym for call to action. If your content does not have a call to action, I want you to understand that you are creating amazing content, but you're not telling your viewers what to do after they view or read your content. You've got to be an air traffic controller. You've got to show them exactly where to go, what to do. You got to tell them how they can embellish or how they can use this knowledge a little bit more, right? How can they dig into the weeds of it a little bit more? How can they connect with you a little bit more? And how they can stay connected with you a little bit more. So you've got to have clear call to actions. Now, each of the strategies that I'm going to be speaking about, it's going to be talking about these call to actions. Call to actions are the things that you're telling people to do when they view your content. The thing that you want them to do, the place you want them to go, you've got to give them specifics on how to do that. It may be a no-brainer for you that if there's a link at the bottom of your content that they will click on it, but you've got to also tell people why they would click on it, right? Because people are very leery of links now. So you've got to be very clear about telling them very quickly and succinctly what they will gain, what's the benefit to them, what problems you're going to slay with that call to action. How is it going to help them when they click on that link? And I'm just using links as an example. That's one way to have a clear call to action. So let's get into the 5 Pinterest marketing strategies that actually convert. And these are things that have worked for me over the last 4 years when I use Pinterest effectively. And I will say that just like everyone else, I ebb and flow. I bob and weave, right? Because it is super difficult to stay focused on all the platforms. That's why as a coach, I always say we pick 3, and we pick 3 for 3 specific purposes. We pick a platform that's a connector. We pick a platform that is an educator in it, right? That gives information. And then we pick another platform that converts. So I work with my clients to really stay focused on 3. Now, the beauty about Pinterest, though, is that Pinterest stays on, hey, Kiki, so Pinterest stays on the platform. Whatever you put on that Pinterest, it stays on the platform and it is always working for you. It is always working for you. So the first thing that I want to really get out there that we're not utilizing enough, but we are talking about a lot inside of the Pinterest room and other Pinterest clubs that I am in with my cohorts, is that idea pins are being underutilized. Now, over the last 2 years that they were introduced, they've moved and transitioned in a lot of different ways. However, when you think about idea pins, sometimes the brain gets foggy. We don't understand exactly how do we implement, what are we doing, how are we using idea pins, right? It is the same as a Instagram reel, a Facebook story, a YouTube short, or a TikTok. If you're using any of these TikToks, reels, stories, shorts, then you definitely can use idea pins and should be. You should be converting idea pins, all of these things into idea pins. Super simple, but it still needs a call to action at the end. And the call to action at the end should be to follow you right on the platform. The reason why is because if they're following you on the platform, then they're going to get access to all the information. If they're following you, there should be a specific board for that particular interest or that particular thing that you're talking about inside of your idea pin that's going to expound on it a little bit more with different types of content that is going to help them understand how to solve their problems a little bit more, how to connect with you a little bit more, which is what you want. That's why we use the platform of Pinterest. So idea pins are very strategic. That's number 1. Number 2, hashtags. Now, this is interesting because hashtags, I would say over the last year and a half, like everybody was like, you don't need hashtags. Don't worry about hashtags on Pinterest, right? And that was a little baffling to me because even though it may not have been using, the platform may not have been using hashtags specifically, on an SEO platform, hashtags are needed and necessary. I've always felt that in my heart, right? And so my good friend JJ Gatt, she's always said this. She's always said, listen, we're going to keep using hashtags because they're going to come back around. Baby, hashtags just came back around. Hashtags are now, Pinterest are saying, essential. They are working. Well, let me take that back. Hashtags are working and Pinterest hasn't said a thing about it. And that's the thing about Pinterest. Pinterest will start to move things around behind the scenes to see what's working, and then they will roll it out to you. So they do a lot of beta testing behind the scenes. But if you're following a platform, you're following your content on the platform, then you're also understanding how these things are moving. And you should be adjusting your hashtags on existing content periodically. That's a Paula tip. I hope you picked that up because I just dropped it for you. So if you are using hashtags to really connect with audiences that are typing in the things that they want in the search engine of your Pinterest URL search bar, then you get it. You understand how hashtags work. Right now, hashtags are connecting you to audiences that are looking for the thing that you are using the hashtag for. And that's super important. It gets your product, it gets your content, and drives it directly to new people, new clients that are looking for you. So hashtags is super critical. I would definitely focus on 3 to 5. And the reason why is because if we start to use a lot of hashtags, and this has always been what I've said to people, let's be specific, okay? If we're talking to a specific client, then that content should be talking to a specific client. Now, do we use the same 3 to 5 hashtags in all the content? Hell no. We need to mix and match that thing. So that's why when we're inside of the Pinterest Your Brand Bootcamp that I hold, and you can jump in that thing at any time, it is evergreen. So when you're jumping inside of the Pinterest Your Brand Bootcamp, you have the ability to be able to understand the power of Pinterest. You've got the understanding of how to create hashtags from the keywords that resonate from your particular tribe. So if that's something that speaks to you, definitely jump inside of the Pinterest Your Brand Bootcamp. It is always available for you to be able to jump in. And the reason why I made it evergreen is because it's important for you to be able to jump in and get the replays, but you also have access to the community, which never goes away. Like the community is nonstop. You have lifetime access to that thing. And once you have lifetime access to it, then you've got access to me. So the Pinterest Your Brand Bootcamp, let me see, I might put that link up going across the screen. And if you're inside of the listening lounge, I just placed it inside right above my head. So click on that link. You can jump into the Pinterest Your Brand Bootcamp at any time. It is an evergreen 3-day boot camp, but also the community that you join is live and we do a lot of really great things. So part of my initiative is to help you understand hashtagging and to help you understand idea pins a little bit more. Not so much to upsell you, but so much to help you grow the things that you learn in the boot camp, because I do understand that being inside of a boot camp for 3 days is not enough. You've got to do the things that you've learned inside of the boot camp. Hey, Mano, how are you? Thanks for jumping in. So we've covered 2 things already inside of the 5 Pinterest marketing strategies that convert. The first is idea pins, learning how to convert the existing content that you're using in the form of reels, stories, TikTok, shorts, and placing those onto Pinterest in the form of idea pins. Second is that big one. It's called hashtags. This kind of come back around, and Pinterest just kind of made hashtags like have a superpower where they're connecting us with actual new searches that people are looking for inside of the platform right now in real time. Now, number 3 is your good old lead magnet. Now, lead magnets have kind of gone away, people have gotten into a sell frenzy where instead of using lead magnets, excuse me, let me take a drink really, really quick. Instead of using lead magnets, they're trying to convert right to the sale. And that rarely works. And the reason why is because only certain products and services are going to be able to have that quick turnover. Your funnel has to be very intentional in kind of like warming them up, getting them to learn who you are, getting them to understand what your products and services do in terms of eliminating problems, answering questions for them, right? Making their lives easier. Number one thing is that you've got to be able to tell them in one sentence how your products and services are going to make their lives easier. A lead magnet is a really, really quick like appetizer into how your products and services working with you, right, are going to make their lives easier. So typical lead magnets that you may use may be like a quick list or a questionnaire, or it could be like a coupon if it's a product or a service. That's a way to ease them into it, right? However, we're foregoing those. I'm noticing that my clients are not understanding how to use the finesse of lead magnets. So these are things that we will also be talking about inside of the Pinterest Your Brand Bootcamp private community, because if we're not building ways to grow our email list, then we're not building ways to attract people and grow our tribe. And the only way that your business will continue to grow in revenue is to have new revenue streams and new people to add to those revenue streams. That's just one-on-one of business. So your lead magnets are critical, right? And we've got to be able to tell our clients exactly what is this lead magnet going to do? What problem is it going to solve, right? How is it going to make their lives easier? So that's important when you're working on those types of things. So let's be super, super intentional about that. Now, third, this is my favorite. We're talking about video, and video content is super, super king. And the reason why video content is king is because everybody wants something that keeps their attention. So if the eye is moving, if the brain is still engaged, then you're spot on for that. And so in order to be able to really understand how video content can really move, we've got to play with some different types of video content. We've got to be able to play with that. So I'm going to actually change up the link that I placed in, and I'm just going to place in my regular Ebony Biz Diva link because it's important for everybody to know how to get in touch with me. But also, I want to make sure that I give you all a one-stop place to find me. And so when we're talking about video content in terms of long-term video, right? In that long form, not those little like 30-second, 60-second, 90-second snippets. Even some platforms will give you 3 minutes for those little shorts or reels or TikToks that you can convert into your idea pins. I'm talking about long form video. It may be an Instagram live. It could be a video that you shot that's 5 minutes. It could be a YouTube video that actually can connect through your Pinterest account super easily on the back end in your settings. I'm talking about video that is going to give more of an insight about your products and services, but also video that is going to be able to educate and inform clients more, because we're living in a society where people want to be educated more. And remember, people are on Pinterest to make a decision. They're not on there just for social purposes. When they come to the platform of Pinterest, they want to know more information because they are already in an information seeking mindset. They may be in a buying mindset. You know, they are really doing some comparison shopping on Pinterest. So they're using Pinterest to get more information. And I've always taught from a perspective that informational content is always going to convert quicker on Pinterest than sensational content, entertaining content. They want more information. They want to know the ones, the twos, and the threes. They want to know the how-tos. Now, you don't have to give them the ones, the twos, and the threes, but you can tell them on Pinterest that you have the ones, the twos, and the threes, that they can get that with the call to action to go to another place, to jump on your email list, to jump into your challenge, right? To be able to download your lead magnet. You've got to be able to give them clear call to actions after you educate and inform them so that you can build your email list. Hey, Dee Dee, welcome inside the Pinterest room. So definitely for everybody who is new and coming in, I'm your girl, Paula Marie, aka the Ebony Biz Diva. I am the founder of the Pinterest room with over 6,800 members that are also looking for Pinterest to be able to give them more visibility, to show them in front of a new ideal client that may never have found them on any other platform. And it is the platform that you can use to show up in front of people and really convert. We're talking today about the 5 Pinterest marketing strategies that convert. I'm going to do a recap, but definitely in the comments, I asked this question in the beginning. I'm going to ask it one more time. What have you done in June of 2022 to add new people, new names, new ideal clients to your email list? What strategies did you do? What strategies did you use in order to add new ideal clients, prospects to your email list? Ideally, we want to be able to funnel people onto our list on a daily basis. And that is the goal that we're working on throughout the summer. What are the ways that we funnel people onto our email list that are really our true ideal clients, right? So answer me that question, because if you're using a system or strategy that we're not talking about, then we want to know, okay? We want to know. And remember that this is on replay. So our room is on replay. Everybody is going to see this room regardless of who's in it right now. So we are live inside of YouTube. We are also inside of that amazing Pinterest room. Hello, Miss Nicole from Barter Black. I feel so glad, so happy to have you in here. Thanks for jumping in, sis. I appreciate you. So yeah, let's jump into it. Now, let's get back to the 5 Pinterest marketing strategies. I'm going to recap. Number 1, we were talking about that good old idea pins. How do we convert our existing short form video that we use on TikTok, on Reels, on Shorts, on Stories into idea pins with clear call to actions at the end, right? Number 2, hashtags. Now remember, hashtags was not the thing like 3 months ago. And then Pinterest did like a right? And they said, you know what, we're going to make hashtags active again, which is why you always do all the things. I teach all the things inside of the Pinterest Your Brand Bootcamp for a reason, because the system works. And it may not work today, but because Pinterest is an evergreen platform and an SEO platform, it works. And if you do all the things, then whenever Pinterest decides to use things and make things a little bit more pronounced in order to increase your visibility on the platform, you're set, because you did all the things that Paula told you to do, right? There's a rhythm and a method to my madness. Number 3 are lead magnets. We are not using lead magnets effectively. I need y'all to stop pointing people to your sales page and they don't even know who you are. I need you to stop it. I need you to educate people and inform them about who you are and the problems that you slay with your products and services on these streets. That is what's going to get you a really great ideal client and convert them into a real client, right? And the way that you do that is through video content. Long form video content that you may have on your YouTube or your Facebook or even your Instagram. Repurpose. I think there's an underlying word that I'm saying here, repurpose, because Pinterest doesn't have to be difficult and it doesn't have to be a whole new thing that you do. It is simply utilizing the content that you already have created on other platforms. And how do we repurpose and rejudge these pieces of content for the platform of Pinterest so that it works? And it has to be things that's relative and relevant to what your clients' needs are today, right? Make sure in the comments you tell me What are you doing in order to grow your email list in June of 2022? Because this is the last week of June of 2022. And if you haven't, then we've got to implement some of these things. But if you have, baby, share the wealth, because we want to do what you're doing too. Because if it's working for you, it might work for us. Okay. Now, the very last thing are articles, right? Articles, blogs, whatever you want to call it, right? That long form, wordy post that informs. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, I can't stand an article. I cannot stand an article when it comes to creating an article, right? But I will tell you the easiest way to get me is through an article. Like, as a consumer, I want to read. I want to know more information. Again, educate me on the why. That is how Pinterest works. Information and education over entertainment all day will get you more ideal clients. So the more pieces of content that we can create and repurpose in order to be able to do that, then the more ways you have to grow your email list on a daily basis. So let me tell you some good stuff. I can't stand a good article, but I love it when my VA transcribes a video that I've done into an article, because I'm repurposing content that I've already created. I don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? So now I've got content that looks different to different people based off of how they receive information. Everyone doesn't have time for a video. Maybe they're in a space they can't watch a whole long form video. Maybe a short form video in terms of your idea pins are not enough to educate and inform them. But an article I can read, and even with these super great apps that we have, I can get an app that can read that article to me while I'm driving in my car. Like, I can have my earphones at my desk and I could just be reading the article or listening to it. So articles work for people because there are some people that love a great article and they love to refer to it. There is a whole finesse to how to grow an article out. And again, we talk about this inside of the Pinterest Your Brand Bootcamp. If you're inside of the listening lounge, inside of the Pinterest room, definitely click the link above my head. You'll go to my website and you'll get access to the Pinterest Your Brand Bootcamp, which is an evergreen bootcamp. You can jump in at any day. You will get all of the 3-day challenge days. But in addition to that, you're also going to be you're going to have access to our private community, and that's lifetime access, which means that not only do you jump into the boot camp for the 3-day challenge, but now you got a community that's going to help you grow the things that you've learned, because a 3-day boot camp is not enough. It just ain't right. So yeah. Dee Dee says she hasn't started anything new with growing her email list. You got 5 things now, Dee Dee, right? You got 5 ways now to start growing. My suggestion is to pick one. To pick one and really get really proficient in that. And once you start to understand, like, how do I convert like my stories into idea pins, right? Then move on to maybe long form video. Maybe you've got some videos that you've done like a year ago that still are relevant and relative to your clients' problems. How do you slay those problems, right? So now really massage that muscle into that. Pick one thing at a time. Don't do all the things that I'm talking about, because all the things, they're a lot. So don't do all the things, right? But pick 1, 2 of the things, right, that you can do that can really start to grow roots, because that's what Pinterest is about. It's about growing roots. And I want to make sure that I'm being intentional about that as well. So listen, let me recap, because that's all of my 5, and I'm hitting on my 30 minutes, and I'm so on time today. Like, who won't he do it? Okay. So the 5 Pinterest marketing strategies that convert. All of these have a call to action. Let me preface that. They all have clear call to actions at the end. Call to actions is where you are telling people what to do. You're not just simply placing links and hoping that they click on them. You're telling them why they need to click on them and what the benefit is if they click on them will be. So be very specific about your want and your wish for them so that they can be intentional about carrying out the call to action. Number one, converting your existing short form content, your TikToks, your reels, your shorts, your stories into idea pins with a call to action on the back end. Number two, hashtagging. Remember, don't give me 30 hashtags, okay? Because we ain't talking to 30 different types of clients. I need you to have 3 to 5 hashtags that you're using at the end of all of your Pinterest content. Now, you don't have to use the same 3 to 5, and I do not suggest you do, which is why inside the Pinterest Your Brand Bootcamp, I'm always one of the exercises that we do is they got to come up with 50. And when we get to that exercise, everybody's like, oh my God, I don't know. So I show you how to come up with the 50. That way you've got some options of the keywords that you use and the hashtags that you use in order to drive that ideal client to you. But we don't want to use them all at the same time. Pick 3 to 5. Be very specific so that that content can meet a specific ideal client. Number 3, create lead magnets. People, stop driving people to the damn sales page. Like, stop, okay? Don't do it. That's like taking me out for coffee and then like wanting to take me home. Don't do it, okay? Like, don't do it. Number 4, video content. Utilize video content so that you're able to educate and inform. And if you have a YouTube channel, this is another nugget. I'm going to need you in your settings on the back end of your Pinterest business account to connect your YouTube so that you can use that as a direct link into your Pinterest business account. I just dropped it. Now, if you were in the Pinterest Your Brand Bootcamp, you would have known that. Last is articles. Really pay attention to articles because articles get picked up on these Google streets a lot. Y'all know Google loves themselves some Pinterest. Like, Google is Pinterest's bae. Like, Google is always like jumping on the Pinterest and trying to snatch Pinterest's goodies. So make sure that you have enough well-rounded content that are still speaking to the same ideal client and repurposing content that you use on other platforms to be able to do that. All right, I'm done. I'm done. Listen, I'm your girl, Paula Marie, aka Ebony Biz Diva. This week, we are jumping off with the Systems Summer School, where we are talking about how to shore up our business foundation. Now, the Systems Summer School is 4 weeks, and each week we talk about something different. We're going to talk about SEO, of course, because I talk about SEO in everything I teach, but we're also going to talk about email automation and how do we set up our businesses in a way that email automation is selling for us and converting for us. Also, lead generation. Does that ring a bell? We just finished talking about that. That's what this room was about. What are we doing in terms of having systems available to us that is continually using lead generating strategies to grow our tribe? And then how are we upselling? How are we cross-selling? How are we downselling, right? You should be able to, when you sell one thing, have something else that interests them. How are we doing that? What systems are we using? So we're using the summer to be able to shore up our systems in our business because we are always getting ready for Black Friday in the summer months because Black Friday comes quick, hard, and fast. So I want to make sure that we are on target because if we are on target, baby, we can move mountains during Black Friday. And I want to make sure we do. If you are new to the Pinterest room, definitely click the green house above my head. And if you're listening live on YouTube, I need you to follow, like, and subscribe, okay, to the platform because that's how I know you like the content that I'm putting down. Have an amazing week, everyone. I'll see you later inside of these internet streets. Peace.